In this video, I'm installing a roof on my garden room. And it's not just any roof, it's a rubber roof. The original roof on my garden room was made of felt, and I used nails to tack it in place. As a result, the roof has been leaking and it needs to be repaired soon. So I'm spotting an opportunity before the weather turns and December hits to replace the roof to make sure I get no more leaks in my garden room. Welcome back to the channel, I'm Scott DIY, and in this video we are replacing the roof on my garden room. Originally I used a felt roof and then I tacked it in place with nails. When I did it, the people on social media said to me that it would leak, and they were right, it has leaked. So I've got to come up with a solution to fix it, and it just so happened that Rubber for Roofs have gifted me this rubber roof. That's because they saw the original installation for the felt and they said that it would leak, and if it did, they would happily supply me with a new one if I share it on my channel, and that's what I'm doing. But the main thing is I'm fixing this problem, and hopefully it helps others fix that problem too. So let's get into the process of it. So I've got the rubber roof laid out behind me. We've had that laid out for about an hour just to rest. Apparently that's supposed to be done to allow all of the creases in the rubber to kind of smooth out a little bit. But to be honest, it already looks very smooth. The first part of the process is to remove the fascias that we've put on. They're just screwed in, and my dad's already getting on with that today. He's just taking all those screws out and just removing the fascias. That way we can then start to remove the felt. So we just removed all the fascias, and now we need to start removing some nails out of the felt. I'm going to be using a couple of things, a hammer and some of these little pry bars. This is a S-Wing pry bar. These have been so useful on so many projects. I've got all different sizes, I've got 3 different sizes, and this is the little one. And then also a screwdriver, just a solid screwdriver. We'll see if we can get all of these like felt nails out and all of the felt off the roof. This shouldn't take long.
So my dad and I got to work removing all of the felt and the nails. Luckily, the nails had massive heads, which is to stop the piercing of the felt. This made it so much easier to remove them. Because we know the roof has already been leaking, we were making sure to check the boards as we uncovered them to make sure there wasn't any serious water damage.
You can see where the felt has broken up. It's allowed water to get in. That's one of the places, and the other place was back here. So there, it was letting water in along that gap there. And underneath this roof, you can see where the water has been coming through.
And now we're going to get the SkyGuard membrane on the garden room roof. There's a few key things to remember. The first is make sure the roof has no dust, dirt or sharp objects. And if you are satisfied that it's clear, then you can start getting it onto the roof. Because this is a 1mm EPDM roof, you only need to roll it up so it's a manageable size to get it onto the roof. Because my garden room is only 4 meters by 3 meters, we could roll it up and it wasn't too heavy for one person to hold it and climb up the ladder. We decided the best way to lay this membrane would be to get it in its final position first before applying any of the adhesive. Once it was in its final position, we could roll it back on itself, apply the adhesive and then roll it out once again. To make rolling the material easier, we decided to use some 50mm pipe and then roll the material into it so that we would have some structure to our roll of material. The key here is to make sure that the membrane stays in its original position whilst you're rolling it. If you were to skew it in one direction, then you might find that there's less material hanging over the edges than you need.
We've just laid the rubber roof on top of the garden room, and now it's just settling just for a little bit. It's already been settling in the garden for about an hour, but we feel it's ready to apply the adhesive. Now, Rubber for Roofs have applied this whole kit, and they've given everything, which includes scissors, they've given a tray, they've given a roller, they've given the adhesive, and they've given some mastic. So there's two types of glue for this project. This one, which is the water-based adhesive, is rolled over the entire roof, apart from 100 mil around the outside. In that 100 mil, that's where we're going to be using this mastic. And the difference is this will hold that rubber roof in place against any windy conditions. We have got some capping that goes over the edge, which will also help, but this is like extra security. And then this holds and bonds the rest of the roof to the top. So we're about to apply it. Let's see how it goes. My dad's just brushing the rubber EPDM roof just to make sure that we're getting rid of all of the wrinkles in the material, because at the end of the day you want it as flat to the surface as possible. So the rubber's on and it's all stuck in place. We've just had some lunch and now we're coming back to put the fascias on. They're just the original fascias. We do have some metal ones, or we do have some plastic fascias, but we're going to be sticking with the original timber ones that we had because they are the same color as the building and they're also the exact height that we need. So we're going to be screwing these on next, and that should give us our final covering around the outside of the building. So after getting the rubber roof fully installed, we then put the fascias on, and we put those original timber fascias on because they are the same colour as the building. Once the fascias were on, we cut away all of that membrane, which is the rubber membrane. I did that with a Stanley knife and it's come out really neat and tidy. The final thing I did was put some sealant between the rubber roof and that timber fascia on the top so no water can get down the edges. That's just something that I added to it. If you really like this video, make sure you like it and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.